Hot off the heels of a Los Muertos hype video, we're at it, everyone. It is the quarterfinals, the first day of play for the Owlet playoffs. We're sitting here in the lobby of Weed Stomp on LAN in Los Muertos. Both teams looking to start off the day right. But a quick update from a game that just ended previously. Banned, by the way, in Deadlock Gang. On the bottom half of our brackets here. Banned, by the way, took it with a 3-0, so they're moving up into the semifinals. Deadlock Gang, unfortunately, will drop out, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And, well, we stomp on LAN and Los Muertos know their next, maybe victim, opponents, whatever it may be, but they got to get through this match play first. I am MrAlan, or Mr. Dongles, you may know me by either moniker. Along with me is Warrenpeace, another great
Hello
caster
there.
here. And
We're
behind the board, clicking all the buttons, making sure you see the stream, is the fantastical Direboyd. It feels good to have the crew together today, and this should be a grand match. Weed Stomp on LAN, top tier team, looking at all the brackets and all the numbers that you see. Season record over the many stages of play, 20-4. It's very impressive. They actually have said themselves that they almost felt like the underdogs in some aspects. They had some rough beginnings. Their words, not mine. They had one tricking coaches, essentially. Machine Eagle and Rydars coaching for this team. One a Genji main, the other a Mercy main. So take that as you will. But they felt themselves not having such a great start, although there's a lot of green in that stage 1 area, so they're being a bit modest, but that's okay. They also had a undrafted DPS as a starter. While that may seem fearful for coaches, that DPS was actually Sensic, which you're familiar with Weed Stomp on LAN. Sensic has been in many matches, many games, and has been a menace on Widowmaker and Pharah. But, of course, it wouldn't be a match without an opponent. Los Muertos, though, they're sitting at a good old 15-9 overall season record. Raven is heading them off. Yeah, it's not too bad. So
it's a respectable record, yeah.
Yeah, and they say they formed, actually, Los Muertos themselves formed for a different tournament, the Scrub Cup 5, and they eventually made the move over to Owlet. They've had a little bit of trouble. They've had many coaching changes, and eventually in stage 3 they settled on Raven. Raven as their coach and player, and of course Nacho Cheez-It moved into a team rep role as well, and they refer to Nacho Cheez-It as their honorary team mom, and that just warms my heart. So while they are on the lower end of the SR, they have made Nacho Cheez-It has made grand improvements over the season, and that's what we're really all about, is making those improvements to try and get to that Diamond graduate area. And of course, Raven, the coach, looking at DPS favored roles as well. They'll be a good matchup, I would assume, especially if one picks Widow. I believe the other will match them. Sensic versus Raven is what we're looking for here. But how are you feeling for between these teams there, Warrenpeace? Los Muertos versus
Los Muertos and We'll Stomp on LAN. Those are both excellent teams. I've casted for both of them. I've played both of them. And honestly, this is going to be. I'm feeling this is going to be a close matchup. I originally had We'll Stomp on LAN to win, but my bracket's not really looking so great. We'll see what happens in this. I'm excited to see what both teams have to offer. I'm also the ref here, so I know that some people will be a little bit confused about why I'm doing all this, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay here.
It'll be just fine. And of course, starting things off here on Route 66, one of the maps, one of my favorites, I must say, payload-wise. And, well, We'd Stomp on LAN being the higher seed here, they are opting to attack first here. And they want to strike first, and I guess whatever compositions or strategies they have, they want to use it right out of the gate. And, well, coming off of a 6-0 streak in stage 4, they're ready to get going here. But Los Muertos, one of their best maps is Route 66 as well, so they have a bit of a stake in the game as well. But I don't know, I believe if we're just about ready and the coaches and teams are ready, I would like to see this match get going.
I certainly would. I'm going to ask if everyone's ready here. Chad, are you ready?
Yeah, Ugh.
Unfortunate.
It's my chat
Okay, is Nacho? Nacho is not a coach, but oh, but we will have the third person point of view. I will allow it for that. I think that's okay. So I will allow it. There we go.
All right, and the lineups for the day.
Players shouldn't have free spec. That is true, but
Very true.
yeah. Oh,
But starting things off with lineups, of course, on We Stomp on LAN attacking first. We'll have Rydaris sitting there. He's going to be doing a great job leading off his team. Audit, of course, the support roles, and Luna as well. Technician, which I believe came in Stage 3 as a late pickup. Hasn't had many games with We Stomp on LAN, but looking to make his mark here on a little bit of tank roles here. Of course, Salty Dog and Sensic lining things up, being the anchor here. It'd be interesting to see what type of compositions would come out here. And of course, Los Muertos have some things to pull out as well. Route 66, while used to be almost Sombra favored map, of course, before certain changes were made, Sombra's still not a bad choice to make, especially just for scouting ability and information gathering for either side here. But we'll have to see when we get in game what everyone is going to lean towards, and well, hopefully they can stick to their guns and get to it.
all right. Looks like both teams are ready. So I think it's time that we go over to. Let's go to Route 66 here.
I'm very happy. See.
All right, let's get this playoff started. Now, Route 66 is one of my personal favorite maps, so I'm really excited to see how this goes. And it looks that I don't really know if, yeah, most Muertos might not be able to pull off their signature comp that they said in their team bio, which is goat. It's very hard to run goats on a escort map here.
Yeah, they did say they did favor goats. Well, many teams do as well. They're just the incredible sustain, essentially a 3-3. And, well, if you are confident with your composition, as long as you can barrel your way through and keep the healing up, you'll do just fine. But then again, as you said, Route 66, not too favorable for goats composition. The defenders have places to sit, or, you know, there's height advantages here, especially big Earls, always a place for defenders to be. But
Indeed.
Who knows? They're looking
We
for
do
it.
have some interesting picks already. I like the Sombra pick that Raven has put out there. That's going to be a very useful pick, especially if they want to shut down almost entirely a Sensic or Rider. They want to, well, Sensic or Riderist. They know they're going to have a Genji on that side, so they're going to. The Sombra could effectively shut it down just almost as well as a Brigitte. Oh. Sombra is now on Widow, so that's going to be... Oof. So they're probably expecting a Widow now. Interesting.
Well, it's not out of the question here. Raven, one of the top played heroes for him, is Widowmaker. But we don't... I mean, Widowmaker on a defense here, not terribly often seen, but we'll see how they react. Especially when those gates open, when seemed We Stomp on LAN going through some last-minute changes.
We will have dive comps on both sides here. And they're off. Both teams just trying to, well, Stomp on LAN is just trying to inch forward towards the payload, and Los Muertos just eagerly are waiting and trading off some damage here.
Of course, we see Sensic way in the back looking for a hack target or just gathering information as the rest of his team are going to be sitting there and waiting, and he is maybe detected every once in a while, but he's going to stand there for a moment.
It's like they got their first dive going on side of Los Muertos, and no deaths yet. The healing on both sides is very good at the moment. They've got the Mercy, Zenyatta. Oh, but Wikitrix is out of mech already, and then the it seems like everything just kind of went there. Ryder's got 3 kills on as the Genji there. That was awesome.
Yeah,
For lack of a
Rydar's
better
doing
word.
Great job with the dash resets, following his tanks, and to pick off those low health targets to really secure the victory here. Uninvaded and not a contested payload at all during that. The dive up into the high ground was well placed, and there wasn't much of a fast reaction there from the side of Los Muertos to help defend those more squishy targets up top.
Oh, and already we have a blade. It will get Platinum on the Genji down, but just sort of wavering around, just trying to find something else. Oh, it's just one, but in the meantime, Suzerac takes out Sensic, and Jelly Dope falls to Salty Dog. Raven takes out Ignition and Salty Dog. Infection down, so still seems to be in the favor of Will Stomp on LAN here, but who knows?
The initial kill, then the last minute pick onto Raven here. Raven switching over to Sombra off of Widow after that initial dive. They're trying to match that, and they want to get the EMP out there, almost 80% up there, so not too far off, but now they got to force their way out with a tire.
And there's the tire. Oh, Sensic will take out the tire. That's an excellent reaction for Hanzo there. Oh, and there's the Valkyrie going off on the side of Will Stomp on LAN. iMonkey just left, but I believe that's okay.
Spectator.
Yeah, Spectator. Riderus gets both Wikitrix out of mech and Jelly Dough. Technician takes out Zeus here. And it's just a big brawl on the side of the field. Oh, and there's another Dragon Blade, blade from Riderus. Takes out Infection. That's a pretty big pick. They're all out of heals at the moment, at least, and all out of main tank as well. Looks like Will Stomp on LAN will take second point already with 5.5 minutes left on the clock. That is impressive timing.
And we're already seeing some changes coming out from Los Muertos. Zeus going off to a Reinhardt here. We saw Splatinum use the Transcendence really late in that fight, only to really heal and save himself. So they're not going to have a Transcendence for quite some time. But obviously we did see Rydaris use his blade as well. But now going into last point here, let's see if We Stomp on LAN can split up the teams.
And there's just a couple of ults there. The Technician will get Wikitrix out of mech, which is a pretty crucial thing to do, but will not be able to get back into mech as they were hacked. Riderus will fall to Jelly Dough, maybe going a little bit too forward. Oh, and that's a huge EMP there. Holy cow, looks like that's gonna be a reset.
Will finally be able to break the momentum here and finally have a spot, but right now they're not noticing Sensic, and now on to Hanzo here. Has been off to the side, and he's creating chaos enough for them to come back in.
Yeah. Infection will fall, so they're pretty much... They don't have a lot of heals going. Mercy, and she's been significantly nerfed. They're just trying their best to... Oh, they're getting so close here, and Sue's down. They're all of a main tank, and there's a Diva Bomb trying to split them up. Wikitrix will take out their main support here. Riderus takes out 2 with the Dragon Blade. Can he get a third? Can he get a third? No, unfortunately not. But Audio Dickian doing serious work, taking out the Diva. Oh, and that is it. Round 1 complete. A very impressive push by Will Stomp on LAN here.
Yeah, pushing through and only contested maybe twice in that entire map. Well, We Stomp on LAN doing a great job at creating a little bit of chaos there and splitting the defenders in half, getting those squishier targets out first as best as they can. And that's really, once one person fell in Los Muertos, they were able to, We Stomp on LAN was able to capitalize on that aggression and push even farther. And we even saw after in the push to last, they lost that fight initially after the EMP from Raven, but they didn't quite find Sensic, who was on Hanzo, and he got 2 more picks after that fight. And the respawn timers were just timed perfectly so that We Stomp on LAN was able to come back and push with full force. And well, with the late changes off on Los Muertos, especially with Zeus onto Ryan, they couldn't quite get an Earth Shatter up, and they just weren't playing as tight as they should have as a team. But they were constantly being pushed by Rydaris and his blades, which were sometimes being damage boosted even by Luna while flying up in the air.
Yeah, that was quite a... Rydaris will still be on that Genji here with not really much change in the lineup at all. We still have Sensic on the Hanzo, we've got Luna on the Mercy, Technician on the Diva. Yeah, classic dive, pretty much a classic defense, but on the side of Los Muertos, you only have two. Oh, I forget that Anna's a support sometimes, even though I am a support 6-trick. Happens to the best of us, I'm assuming. But they will have a very interesting DPS combo with the dive. I don't think I've really seen a Doomfist Sombra comp before.
It's not uncommon. You use the Doomfist in Sombra, and of course you have Ana as well, and D.Va a little bit too. It's all about CC and knockbacks and disabling other people's abilities, and just the combination of those 4 heroes there, hopefully will be enough to them to break through. But it's just about using those in the correct order and capitalizing on who you're going to be picking here. So they got to be right on the mark with whatever they're going to go for.
And it looks like they're just going to trade some damage at the moment. Not really any kills going on, but oh, we have the Doomfist going in. A Technician going very low. Raven as well got healed, but was very low for a second. That's just trying to target the sort of squishies, but Riders will be the first to fall with on Genji. Technician out of mech, and Sensik will get a pick on Infection, but that's not enough. Suze will take out Sensik. Suze will also take out Audit, so they're all out of heals. They've got no choice but to just die or get off the point. And that will be a take for Los Muertos, most likely, unless they decide to go out and...
I would hope not. At least they easily push this through, but a great aggression there. They actually kind of had almost a false start there going on to Big Earls. We saw Jelly Donut initially push in Seuss shortly after, but then they immediately backed off. Maybe that was more of a feign kind of thing, where then they tried to bait out some attacks from We Stomp on LAN, but they made their way through, especially with the high mobility, especially from Seuss, tracking down those squishy heroes and controlling them as best they can. Well, they're coming into the next section in Route 66, battling for position.
Right now, it just seems like they're trading damage. Oh, they will make a dive, but it's kind of an interesting... Salty Dog will take down Jelly Dough, and Technician will take out Seuss. So that's 2 picks on the side of Los Muertos. No, sorry, from the side of...
We Stop
words.
on LAN.
But Riders will have a Blade here. And Platinum is out. I don't think that Blade usage here would be a smart thing to do, as they've already won the fight.
Yeah,
but,
everyone's now building up their ultimates. They haven't been used yet, but now everyone's getting to those shiny Q buttons, and now it's going to be a cacophony of visuals and audio cues here to see who's going to play the game of chicken and who's going to pull the trigger first.
It's like everyone. Oh, and there's the there's a couple of them right there. A Meteor Strike, and will that be able to hit? No, there's a lot of ults going on here, and there's a barrier, but to offset Riders' Blade, and just both teams are hacked to pull out their EMPs. But Raven falls along with Platinum Infection. That push is over as well.
Yeah, it just happened that We Stomp on LAN got to use more ultimates first, it seemed. The hacks from both sides kind of delayed those responses, but eventually We Stomp on LAN doing the work. The Raven coming close to being detected there, but I think they're fine right now. So far, We Stomp on LAN doing a good job of keeping Jelly Donut in check. The way to beat a Doomfist is just to work as a team and make sure before he can make his attacks and get those extra shields, you have to focus on that Doomfist. Otherwise, he will one-shot your squishy opponents, your squishy teammates.
That is very true. An Audit Decant will fall early, but there are multiple ults, far more ults on the side of Los Muertos here. We'll see if they get used here. Luna is down, but so is Infection, so it's kind of an equal trade. But Riders will fall as well, so that's and Salty Dog, this pushes... They're gonna have... We'll Stop on LAN will either have to do the die on the point method, or just kind of retreat. Because this push, they can't really win this team fight anymore, unless something ridiculous changes.
They're just going to have to regroup. They'll definitely be able to contest here, but that's okay. Sensik still cloaked and gathering information up top. Jelly Dough now off of the Doomfist. He's been checked enough to where he has to switch over to a soldier here, but Sensik still waiting in the back. 70% to an EMP, not quite there yet. But Infection still, and Sue's still waiting to use their ultimates from the first fight in this section.
And it is not an easy thing to completely counter a Doomfist. It's definitely interesting. Jelly Dough will fall early, but Suze will take out Ryder, so it's a pretty even trade. And there's a Transcendence and an EMP from the side of Los Muertos, but Ryder's taking out with a Blade, and there is another EMP from the side of Will Stomp on LAN, just taken out. And that is I think that's pretty much a one-team fight there. A lot of... Oh, wow.
Yeah, there is the initial dive from Rydaris and Salty Dog to hit Jelly Dough once again. They are making sure he gets absolutely nothing. He was in the second floor of the main building there, and they just found him and just sought him out, and they're going to send him back to the respawn. He's only getting up to 50% after being on Soldier for a couple lives now, but they're getting pushed even. Yeah, Jelly Dough having a tough time.
Up. Yeah, the Salty Dog's just pushing way up here, and we'll be using the Primal Rage. No one is on point from the side of Los Muertos. It's just sort of a, hey, how many of these people can I get? How much time can I waste for them?
They're doing a great job so far. Only a minute left here, and well, Rydar's feeling a little bit sticky situation.
Yeah, 60 seconds remaining here. A little bit less than that now, of course. Oh, and there's the visor. We'll take out Rydar's. Oh, that was timed just beautifully. Salty Dog out as well, but that's to the help from the help of 3 on the team. Jelly Dough out as well, along with Seuss. Takes out, yeah, that's a good pick. And, it doesn't get anything though, so it's just, but Technician will be able to get right back into the mech. How? Oh man, but just trying to save a little, well, stall a little bit, get a little bit of time wasted, and, we'll see. Ryder's just on point as well, just trying to, oh, but will fall. Technician down. Will they be able to stop? Salty Dog and Salty Dog's just on point and will fall. Seems like they're just trying to waste as much time as possible, but unfortunately this is going to trickle them. This is not exactly good.
They had the right idea at first. You know, you're in close to the end of the game, perhaps, and you want to try and get on the point as quick as possible for Weed Stomp on LAN. But eventually they came to a point where they're just essentially feeding ultimate charge to their opponents. And now that they've finally gotten back, they've made some changes here. We see a Zarya and Reinhardt in action.
And there's the bomb EMP,
combo.
And that gets 2. That's a good combo there. And it's just a complete wipe from the side of Los Stomp on LAN. They've got 60 seconds to recover from that. Will they be able to do it? We will see.
Now Los Muertos finally making some headway here. They now splatting them on a Lucio here, but now they wish they had that Transcendence.
Oh, and there's the Transcendence from Owlet there, and the Dana boosted monkey is just going to run around, see if he can get anything. Jelly Dough will take out Sensei, so it's still up 1. And there's Jelly Dough's visor. We'll take out Luna. That's a critical hit there. Oh, both main support, both supports, both tanks. Yeah, this is not looking good. It looks like they're going to be able to take the point here, unless something major happens. But Sensei just trying to stay on the point as Tracer. No, will not be able to do so. And here we go. Salty Dog just trying to get on the point. Looks like they will have a team on the point, and that is a Mercy ult and a Shatter here. Riders will be rezzed on the Brigitte here. Brigitte. Oh, and there's the grab. Just a lot of kills from red team here. We'll stop on LAN here, and looks like this is going to be a hold here. A 3-2 map victory from Will Stomp on LAN. That was a beautiful last push for Will Stomp on LAN.
Los Muertos had some good momentum coming in their final bits, but they had to use all of their ultimates before that final fight there just to get to that moment. And they were pushing as best as they could, but of course, the respawn advantage coming for Weed Stomp on LAN, and just with the extra hacks and of course the blades from Rydaris, were able to secure their victory after a great offensive push for them in the first place for Weed Stomp on LAN, but their defensive side was faltering in the first and last halves there just a bit. But it was that strong secondary hold on point B that they were able to burn all that time off, but then able to rally at the last second and push Los Muertos off the point.
All right. We're going to go back to the lobby here, and I believe our next game is going to be... 1 second, let me make sure.
The Ilios.
Ilios,
the
yes.
Ilios.
We're going to Greece, friends.
Yeah,
We're going to
good old
Greece.
Control. Yeah. I also have a bit of backstory too, or maybe not backstory, a quote perhaps. I am, of course, summarizing here for either teams, but hey, We Stomp on LAN. They're asked about, the competition, what they thought of different teams, who they like to play, perhaps. We Stomp on LAN. They were actually looking. They want to fight. They want to beat Microsoft Excelsior in the finals. They've actually not faced them in the regular season at all, and they think that it's either going to be them in Microsoft Excelsior in the finals, or they're both going to get eliminated in the quarterfinals. That's their prediction, and who knows, maybe that will come true. We don't know. But Los Muertos on the other side, they're also looking to face off Microsoft Excelsior in the finals. So each
Sure.
team have their goals, and Los Muertos, their reasoning is they've faced off against Microsoft Excelsior 3 times. They're 1-2 against them, and they want to show their improvements, and they want to prove themselves that yes, they can beat Microsoft Excelsior in that grand final. But of course, this is only the quarterfinals, and we have to get there first. And it has 3 days of play, and we're on day 1 here. So right now, we Stomp on LAN, sitting on top 1-0, best of 5, first of 3 wins. Ilios is our next map.
Certainly is. A quick-
With control coming up, I believe this will be the time to maybe bring out some goats. And maybe a
Yeah.
little bit more favorable here. Of course, we also have some great pits. If we get well first, I'd be so happy to see people go down to the dark depths in the center. It'd be wonderful. I'll clap for everyone who makes an environmental kill. But, of course, we could get a varying amount of maps here, but we'll have to see. If we get ruins, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Widowmaker, perhaps. That is an interesting map for Widow to play on. Sightlines are rather niche, I guess. You gotta find your right niche. I guess your pronunciation of the word can vary, but it's all about finding that perfect spot on ruins if you're playing a Widow. Ilios here, and of course we may see Far Mercy combos.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
and
that'd
lots
be
of
a good battles to have as well.
and on 2 of the maps we will likely see some Lucio action, and Lucio is my favorite hero, so I am so excited.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Also, the halt hook combos on well will be a lot of fun to see if they happen.
And of course, just focusing down in if we get those Holt or Orisa plays, of course, figuring out a place for your team to stick with that shield and hold your ground. But with these control maps, there's so many places for DPS to flank and find different routes to attack. So it's gonna be a little bit of a dance, I think. Finding those right openings to attack, or maybe falter, just take a step back, but then come back with a nice right hook. But we'll see which map we get first.
All
And
right,
all 3 of them, I'm fine with them.
I believe we are ready. I'm just going to have to ask these guys what if they are ready as well. I'm going to have also before I forget, I gotta do something important. I gotta update the master spreadsheet here. Thank you for infection though. All right, here we go in the playoff bracket. We Stomp on LAN with 3 over Los Muertos.
So with the teams switching colors
Yes,
onto a now
and switching
control-based
sides as
map.
well.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see what we come up with. I'm expecting a strong presence of Farah Mercy. It'll be Sensic on the Farah and Raven on the Farah as well. Luna, well, doing the trusty Mercy work, will be there as well. We'll see who comes out with the Mercy for Los Muertos if they choose to do that as well. Splatinum typically on a Zenyatta, but we did see a little bit of Lucio play there in the end. But we'll see who fills that other support role for Los Muertos.
All right, I think we're all ready. I think we're going to go over to Greece here and head over to Ilios. Here we go.
Taking in the good sun, and of course, what we get for the first
Beautiful
map.
views of the sea as well, along with the great boot spots. And here we will get well first. This is
perfect.
by far my favorite. Oh, I'm looking forward. Oh, looks like we will have a Hammond And a Symmetra?
Well, it's the troll picks.
Yeah, it's the troll picks.
But as they decide what they want to do, Raven, McCree, not a terrible decision.
Especially
He may be
with the
looking to counter. He's probably expecting a Pharah on the other side of things, but he's contemplating that decision. Of course, as is Sensic, as he's thinking about Torb. Who knows? They still got 30 seconds.
I would love to see that Torb though. If okay. Yeah. Oh wow.
Los Muertos, a little bit of b-ball skills.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I, on the other hand, am not.
All right,
I could never make that basket. Maybe it's a good luck charm.
Here
Any
we
of those
go.
superstitious folk out there looking to get a good win in.
And we go here with the pulled pork and Far Mercy combos on the side of Los Muertos. All right. I can't quite pause at the moment, but they both do need to be muted. Okay, Riders will go down first to Jelly Dough on the Far. That's gotta hurt. It's not even time for the control point to unlock, and we'll Stomp on LAN is at a significant disadvantage here. Technician will go down to a beautiful pulled pork combo.
Giving me life and sustenance so I may continue on. Boy, oh boy. The early pick, though, from Jelly Dough, the direct rockets, I mean, immediately winning that aerial battle, and that just opens up so much room for Jelly just to lay down damage, and already up to 70% to that rocket barrage, and we already see Salty Dog and Luna coming around the side, looking just to provide maybe a little bit of presence and pressure. But we'll have to see what everyone else pulls out. Sensic immediately going over to the Widowmaker, looking to control the skies.
That's an interesting pick there, and they will no longer have that Pharah. Again, very interesting. Maybe Riders just lost a little bit of confidence, and there will be a lot of damage being traded here. A lot of people are looking really low and will Stomp on LAN, but who knows? Maybe this could they can have the superior healing with almost 50%. And Los Muertos will lose control, and there's the Justice from above. Takes out Raven, but Salty Dog just trying to take things, stay alive. Will pull off the Angry Monkey here. Tangy will res Jelly here. There's not a lot of presence from Los Muertos on point at all, so they're just going to. It's like Audit will get 2. Well done.
And they're going to chase them all the way back into spawn,
Yeah.
and they're fine with that. They're going to push far, but they'll be able to get back even with a last-minute kill on the Splatinum. And, well, they're going to make their way back here, and they flipped that point really early in that push. They came in through under the lighthouse as their dive came in. And, well, there's a little bit of sustain from Los Muertos, but they were eventually able to win the fight and flip the points. And from there, Sensic was able to hit the headshots.
And there's a visor and a... But, countered by that, not exactly countered by that, but, there's another, sorry, another one of those, just a lot of ults going on. It's hard to keep track of them all, but Splatinum will go down to Riders with a nice dash, and Riders takes out Raven as well. That's looking pretty bad for, Los Muertos here, but Riders will get another. Looks like we'll Stomp on LAN. We'll keep control of the point, and there are some Widow sights from Sensic, and we'll take advantage of that and take down Pengy. So they're all out of heals. They're gonna have to retreat here.
Yeah, Sensic being no pressure being put on the Widow for Send all the way in the back. Although it's not uncommon for Send to get up close and dirty as a Widowmaker here.
Yeah, Sensic's just going up a little bit closer, but we'll get healed up here. And it push here with 90-something%. Oh, and Jelly Dough will get 2. That's huge. There's the whole hog is popped as well, but that doesn't get anything. Technician getting out of debacked. Riders taking out Raven. That's a pretty big pick. Just a lot of damage being traded, not a lot of kills. It's just a brawl on the point. Luna almost dying there, but will be saved. Oh, so much. Raven being res, but Sensic falling. This is not looking good for Will Stomp on LAN. It's a fight. 3, 2, 2, 4. It's just trading everywhere. Luna is down, as I said. Earlier. Oh, and that was a near hook, but not entirely. Jellydo will take Technician out of the mech, and Salty Dog will fall to Raven. There's a lot of damage here, and there's a barrier. So many ults. When will this fight end? And it ends right now with Stomp on LAN. Forfeiting the point.
They're going to get that 99%, and they're going to be okay with it. They thought they could flip it, but there was too much pressure, especially from the initial onslaught of Jellydo's rocket barrage early on in that fight, grabbing 2, but already a long enough fight in that overtime that he was able to get it again here. And of course, we saw Luna constantly dipping into that pit. While it may seem scary, looking to defend herself in that pit from sightlines.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. And that's a res onto Sensik, but Pangy will die to Sensik. And there's a blade and also a oh, but the visor didn't get anything. Riders gets something with the blade, and it's just they're gonna have to try to stay on Platinum. Will not be able to take it. And there's the Will Stomp on LAN takes the first point here.
Yeah, they're going to take it quite easily after that next push. They had enough ultimates saved up after those previous brawls, and they're able to come in and sweep out as a hard-hitting dive. And, well, they went for those squishy targets through the tanks of Los Muertos. And, well, the high mobility was able to secure them the victory here. Sensik now off of the Widow, switching over to some Pharah action. Maybe looking for a Pharah Mercy battle, but looks like we're getting the GOATS comp finally from Los Muertos. They're feeling more confident here. They feel that this lighthouse map may suit them better for GOATS, but they're going to have to somehow deal not a ton of range here. Jellydo will have to keep in check Sensik, who's going to be flying there. Maybe they've been waiting for a GOATS as well to pull out just a Pharah Mercy.
They probably have, because the Pharah Mercy is extremely effective against GOATS. Sensor's just getting a lot of damage poured onto it. It's just a brawl outside, but Audit Decamp will fall first. Salty Dog falls soon after, but they will res Audit. Oh, that's unfortunate. Riders falls as well. They're Raven on the... So it looks like the GOATS is working very well. They are very dominant on the GOATS indeed. Luna just trying to stay out, but oh, Luna falls as well. Audit will take down Pangy, so that's... They don't have quite a lot of healing here, but oh, it doesn't really matter because they have 5 on the point, and that is it. They will take the point here in a dominant showing.
The sustain really showing its strength there. Everyone's keeping up very well healed. Raven already on to a rally, and Chef Momo already with a hammer down. So that'll be really interesting if that Earth Shatter comes out, who they can grab, and even coming in with a rally to start things off.
Oh, and there's the hammer. It does get quite a bit. Nice counter charge there. Salty Dog, Technician, and Riders are all down. So this is Los Muertos just shutting everything down and just taking complete control over this whole situation.
Yeah, they were okay. They won the fight with those 3 or 4 picks, and Weed Stomp online doing a great job at pulling it back there. Although losing that initial fight here, but they're not going to waste any time. As well, Pangy Van coming close to a coalescence. They're probably going to be using it right here.
Oh, and there's the hammer, but it was not really blocked. Sensik will get a pretty nice barrage, getting 2 there, 1 out of mech actually. We'll take down Sensik in the process though, so that's still a pretty good trade. And it looks like we will have an attempt to take. Sensik will be rezzed, and Stomp on LAN will finally take control of the point here. How long will they be able to keep it for, though?
That is a great question. They're going to have to rely on Sensik and Luna to keep some presence in the sky and constantly keeping pressure on those tanks and those people who can't reach them. The Sensik doing a great job at floating around and kind of keeping out of sight. And, of course, the combo with the Earth Shatter was a great point.
Yeah. And there's a lot of ults going on. I'm not even sure how to... I think that was both a rally and... a barrier, and there's the Diva Bomb, but will not get anything. Raven goes down Pangy, and Wicked Trick, they don't have a lot of healing from Los Muertos. So they're going to keep the point with that.
Yeah, I mean, We Stomp on LAN, they almost have a GOATS comp. I mean, everything is a little bit amorphous in a sense, but just putting in a Pharah in the mix instead. Rydaris as well, keeping check with everyone else with the Brigitte. And while it seems that Los Muertos, they're going to be sticking to their guns, but they're not faltering here. They're taking different routes of attack, and they're making sure they're keeping things fresh, and they're going to keep pushing.
Oh, and there's the hammer and a grab barrage, but doesn't really get much. But Wikitrix will get both Audit and Riders. Those are some pretty crucial picks, and they will be able to advance onto the point. And it's a brawl here. Salty Dog falls, so it looks like Los Muertos will be able to retake here. Yes, they will be able to.
Yeah, the combination of shields and healing kept them alive through a barrage from Sensic in the middle of that Graviton Surge. So great awareness there by players on Los Muertos, and they are definitely not. They want to show themselves strong with their GOATS composition here, as they are constantly fighting back and forth with Weed Stomp on LAN, both sitting at 75% roughly.
In the chat, we do have some antipathy towards GOATS here. The Resident Sleeper emote. Oh, and there, Riders will fall, but Platinum down. Audit Decant down. Those are some pretty big picks. Salty Dog down as well. Who knows? Maybe it looks like Los Muertos will be able to hold here. There's not really a lot going on. Oh, there's one on the point, and that's a barrage. But Sensic gets two before. Oh, but we'll be able to stay alive. That was just a 2 versus 1 on the point. Wikitrix takes down Sensic. Salty Dog takes down Wikitrix. Yeah, and it looks like it's not over yet. We'll Stomp on LAN says, no, let's keep this going.
Yeah, Wiki was stalled out there a little bit, but he was able to take down Sensic, but Sensic will be able to get back much faster than Wiki can. But they're going to group up Los Muertos here. They're going to come in right at that crucial 99% mark here. And, well, they're going to have to battle their way in. They got some kit to use, and they're going to have to use it.
Oh, and there's some ults there. We've got both the Rally and the Shatter. And it was a good Shatter. And, oh, we'll Stomp on LAN, popping the defense matrix. No, not the barrier. And, oh, but they get 2 picks. That's, Riders gets another pick there. It's just a brawl with... There's the barrage, and there's a bomb. We'll take that. Looks like most of Los Muertos is gone, and that is it. We'll Stomp on LAN takes this map 2-0.
We Stomp on LAN pulling up to a nice and cozy 2-0 currently. Of course, Sensic here grabbing that play of the game. Constant barrages from... Well, of course, they have a good environmental kill, but we saw Sensic always close to Rock Barrage, either staying really high to the ground or coming low and keeping out of sight. That seems to be what's most effective for Fars and the barrages. It's not just sitting up in a very visible spot in the air, but more about using your surroundings in those higher buildings to sneak around and combo with some of your tanks, or just make sure you have the backs of your enemies visible so you can push that fat Q button and grab the kills. But he was taken down once or twice, and that's all right. But they're going to carry on with the victory here. Los Muertos feeling the pressure. They only need one more loss before they are eliminated here. And our next map to come into is Hollywood, a hybrid here. Well, it'll be interesting to see what we get. Again, perhaps, for Los Muertos, but who knows? We'll see.
I do have some Hollywood trivia here for you. The voice of the payload actually is a voice. It's a fairly well-known voice actor, Travis Willingham, whose wife is Laura Bailey, who is a very prominent voice actor. I just think that's like one of the coolest things.
Yeah, a grand couple. Of course, they are in just about every video game. The Laura Bailey, the generic woman voice, it seems like, and she does it well though.
Yes.
That's fine. Yeah, but well, teams are gonna change sides here.
They certainly are, and we will have Infection or Pangy here. The Penguin going out here, and yeah, we're good to go. I'm gonna break. Yeah. So, I will ask if they're ready in just a second. In fact, I'll ask it right now.
All right. Now, I'm not sure. I haven't quite seen We Stomp on LAN play a lot of GOATs. throughout
I
the
certainly
stages.
haven't.
So we'll see what they play with. They'll probably play with a more, I mean, for the last couple competitive seasons, I don't know what the particular name is. The more traditional is, Ryan, Zarya, Mercy. You
Yes.
kind of fill in from that, or Zenyatta as well, and you kind of fill in with the last two positions. That seems to be what people are most comfortable with. And of course, compositions are always evolving. Ghosts, of course, coming out very recently with Brigitte, even after the changes to her. And of course, now we're having some more disruptive sets. Of course, we saw Jelly Dough on the Doomfist on Route 66. I'm not sure if they'll use it here, though. I feel depending on, well, I guess it depends if they want the range or not. If they're going to do goats, they're not going to have to they're going to have a hard time dealing with range. Sensic has the ability to go with either Widow or Pharah. Now, each has the long sight lines, and they have to put pressure on Send somehow, because Send has been kind of the crux of Los Muertos there.
That it has. It's interesting. I think they expect a lot of goats, and thus had the ideas to run sort of goat stopper on the Pharah, and that was a really smart move there. Yeah. All right.
The teams are ready.
The teams are ready, but from the lobbyist standpoint, it's not really quite there. We still have two. Okay, looks like we actually are getting ready here. Yep, that's all good on that side, and let's take a look at what's up on LAN 1, 2. All right, I'm gonna start as soon as we have Machine Eagle mute up.
I'll throw the fat R in there just in case.
All right. I actually have been getting messages from Raven too that they are ready. So.
All right, wonderful. And we're also seeing that just amounts of players on either side. Just having a full 6 stack versus you have ability to swap in and out here. We did see some people leave early on in the first match, but some teams have the ability to swap out. But this will be interesting to see. Splatinum, I'm not sure if being on the defensive side, I'm expecting to continue on towards the Zenyatta here. I wouldn't expect defensive goats can work, but who knows? We'll see if he'll stick to a Lucio, or maybe he'll go to a tank role. Who knows? The early picks, the troll picks, but the Zenyatta is what I'm expecting from Splatinum, and the survivability of Splatinum as well, as we see the constant dive from the side of Weed Stomp on land. We Stomp on LAN rather.
Yeah.
And to look for those players who are just a little outside their comfort zone and to pounce when they can.
But then again, land is on land, so they technically are also stomping on land.
Got me there.
That's a really bad joke there. I am so sorry. But yeah, we'll have a Ryan Diva on the side of Los Muertos here with the Hanzo soldier. Interesting. Riders will be on Hanzo here, and with Luna on. Oh, that's definitely good. That's gotta be a troll pick.
They're still thinking about it here, but Los Muertos, they're going for. I mean, it's almost what I kind of referred to as a traditional earlier. I mean, they have the Rhine, Zen, Mercy. That's kind of the backbone. Diva is always typically in there's 80% of the compositions. Diva is just such a great hero to use in conjunction with just about everyone else. Soldier fallen out of favor recently, but maybe coming back with a resurgence with minor tweaks to him. But of course, Hanzo with that new kit that came up a few months ago has made him almost even stronger in a sense. But just having a bit of range option here, they're not going to take chances here. They want to be able to address all those threats that they possibly can come up against.
And they're off with Jelly Dough was defending a little bit high off for what I would personally do, but doesn't really seem to be an issue. They're with the Reinhardt Diva on the side of versus a Reinhardt Zarya, so that should be an interesting thing to watch for. Again, this is not really a good goats map, so it's not really surprised that they won't be playing the goats here. But it's like just a battle of the Rhines at the moment. As you can hear, that's the first voice line that you can from the. All right, they're just trying to stay defending. Oh, Riders will fall early. That's not a good sign for the attackers. They could they've got two options here. Do they want to keep on pushing without him? Do they want to res? No, they can't. Yeah, they can res, but it doesn't look like they will.
They don't want to take the chance there. Salty Dog a little bit separated currently, but they'll be able to push up forward here.
He is pushing a little bit forward, but they are missing one. But Audit already with the Nano Visor, Infection already with the Mercy ult, the Valkyrie. Sorry, I can't really remember names sometimes. And there is the dragon straight through the center of the point. Will not really get anyone, but there's the other one. Chef Momo will fall, but Raven takes down Technician. So it's kind of an even trade. They're both missing a tank, but Sensei will take him down by Jelly Dough, and will Chef Momo res, Technician res, but Salty Dog takes down the other mech. Riders gets a pick. Oh, this is exciting. It looks like they will be able to stay with a Battle Mercy coming out. Oh, I love that. And they will take the point at this point.
Yeah, a rather slow start, but that's fine. They're able to break the defense there, and already forcing Los Muertos to switch off up to different heroes coming into a different stage there. With the slow start, we did see the shield break from Salty Dog a few times, which kind of faltered them. Of course, Radar is falling as well. But they were able to dislodge Ana and Soldier, who were sitting up in the backup for Los Muertos in that cafe second.
Oh, that was a... Holy cow, that was a headshot!
It.
Sensei just picked off their Widow without even missing a shot. That was very impressive. Sensei will get killed and sent back to spawn there, so it's pretty much even. 3 still on point. 2 now, but yeah, it's kind of fluctuating as well. Audit just staying behind on Zen. Oh, Riders will take him down, but Chef Momo falls as well. Still fairly even. Technician takes Wix Tricks out of mech and dead. Jelly Dough will not before Jelly Dough takes down Technician, and Salty Dog falls as well. This isn't. There's just 2 supports and a DPS. That's not really enough to. That's not enough to contest with. That's a recipe for disaster. Oh, that's a stick onto Sensic. Amazing stick by Jelly Dough there.
Jelly Dough just with a parting gift, but he'll get res back up. That's just fine. Raven, though, off to the Widowmaker. Now has walls sitting up top. We're able to see every approach possible by We Stomp on LAN. Raven, in response to, all the pressure being put on, but the arrow to the head to lead things off.
Look at that! And there's the grab, but will there be a follow-up? Yes, there will! Oh, and there's the Transcendence to block it all. Both ultimates seem to not get anything. And there is a Dragon Blade. We'll get Infection. Platinum down. And Jelly Dough is also down. This is looking very positive for We Stomp on LAN. They will also take out Wix Tricks. But Insensec will be res. They have everyone with them. And they will be going pretty far forward here, just trying to get some more picks. Riders will take down Jelly Dough pretty much before, like in the area after the spawn here. And there's the Nano Monkey here, just trying to get that ult up or something. Salty Dog will fall though, and it's Riders versus Raven. And Wiki Tricks just going in and just taking control of that. Audit Ticket falling as well, but Sensei takes down Jelly Dough. Technician down. It's just one alive here. That's just the Zenyatta hiding out in the corner. They're not going to get anything there. No. Not going to try to res it.
Yeah, they're able to push them back, but initially the fight went against Los Muertos. They were so spread out on the high ground and the low ground that they didn't quite force their way onto one person on the side of We Stomp on LAN, and it was able. We Stomp on LAN just kind of turned on them and just started diving and focusing people, and they were able to bring that payload close to that second checkpoint. But with Salty Dog falling early in that fight, they had to reset here. And Technician always being really out front. He's got to be careful not to be picked off here.
Alright, Raven will be taken down by Sensei yet again. It just looks like Sensei is just shutting it down there. Splatinum and Chef Momo will also fall, so it looks like this is a point that is taken easily for Stomp on LAN, but not actually easily. It's been a pretty rough road to getting it, with only a minute left. So they're gonna have about 2 minutes or 2 minutes and 20 seconds to cap the third point here.
Yeah, they're looking to grab any stragglers they can. Wiki having a rough time in the day, but he'll be able to heal up for the time being. Chef Momo right there along with the shield to help out. Jelly Dough, on the other hand, going over to Reaper, looking to try and dissuade those high mobility diving heroes from going onto their supports or any other teammates. But we'll see what Salty Dog's doing. He's going back to spawn to change to something. He's going to Rhine as well.
And it looks like that's an interesting pick there. Raven will be trying to counter the Hanzo by way of Hanzo. Splatinum will fall at the moment, so that's... Oh, and there's the grab. That's a nice sleep, but... Oh. Audit DK going in with the Transcendence. They don't have it if the other side decides to use... When Wikitrix gets the grab, and when Raven eventually gets that dragon. Oh, and there's theirs. Yeah, and that is... Oh, Technician just falls, but Chef Momo's still going pretty aggro on the Rhine. Swinging the hammer and will fall. Jelly Dough down. It's just Jelly Dough is there. Jelly Dough takes some others down, and oh, that's a risky res. Oh, it gets punished bad for Jelly Dough. Nicely done.
Yeah, all that fight stemming from an initial blade from Rydaris. He was focusing Chef Momo for quite a bit. Even though Chef Momo had the Discord Orb on him, he couldn't bring him down as the healing was too strong from the side of Los Muertos. And they're able to take it back to their favor and push back even from a faltered Earth Shatter from Chef Momo. Technician
falls down early, and I don't think that's a resable pick, especially since res was just used a little bit ago. Oh, and they will res it. They will actually res it. That is impressive. Sensic takes down too, but Technician will get taken down by a charge. Salty Dog takes down the other Zarya though, and there's a lot. Both dragons are out. Riders will get both the supports. Those are some crucial picks. Chef Momo down as well, and looks like this is going to be winnable for Stomp on LAN. Will they get all the way there? It looks as though. Oh, and there's the grab, but just trying to get him off the point, but it's no use. Stomp on LAN gets all 3 points with just a little bit of time remaining.
Yeah, Wiki had the right idea trying to pull them off point, but Luna was there anyway in the Valkyrie to able to swoop in and grab that with 5.5 seconds left. And, well, Jelly Dough had the right idea with the Reaper, and we saw it working for quite some time there. And, well, maybe, I don't know if We Stomp on LAN will do that in kind, but Rydaris, thinking about the Junkrat, not a bad choice as well, especially if they're expecting a Goats comp to come barreling through that archway. And right now, that's what Los Muertos is thinking. And, well, Junkrat is not a bad choice. So much damage and splash damage to try and break apart shields, healing, anything you can here. And well,
not to mention those super quick tires that you'll get from just breaking it down with just constant grenades.
Absolutely. And it's like that tight formation of the goats that makes that so well suited for Junkrats to attack them if they can place their pills just so. But actually, all that speaking is for naught as Rydaris switching over to the Brigida, looking for a bit of play here, a little bit of combo action with Salty Dog, looking for those stuns so we can see some juicy combos. But the thing is, Raven and Chef Momo may be thinking the same thing as well. So almost ahead on action here. Audit on Ana as well. So looking for just maybe that ever so wonderful sleep dart as shields are dropped, or, you know, people have their backs turned. But yeah, Sensic throwing out the Sonic Arrow. They know what they're up against here. So let's see how they position themselves on defense. Some Audit of Cant, of course, on the high ground in the cafe.
Yeah. Riders has switched off of the Junkrat here, and the Brig is not quite an effective counter. They don't really have a really effective counter to the Ghost comp here. This is going to be...
I think they may do it. The counter stun from either Brigida may do it. Of course, Sensic with the headshots.
And the anti, which is incredibly powerful to just deny him all that healing, because they are 6 tanks that can take a lot of damage, but can't really do that too much more. And it's a brawl on the point already with not really much damage. And there's an anti already on... Oh, it's already gone before I could remember who the name was. But yeah, just Audit fairly low, but no one dying yet. And Salty Dog will be the first to go. Jelly Dough out of mech, and that's already a hammer. Chef Momo takes out Luna, and Riders goes down to Wiki. Sensei takes out Jelly Dough, but Technician's the only one left. Sorry, Sensei's the only one left. Ah, my bad. And that is a very easy take for Los Muertos.
Yeah,
Ghosts has worked.
Yeah, we're seeing their practice of goats coming into play here. They had so much better sustain in comparison to We Stomp on LAN. They rarely drop below 50% health, while We Stomp on LAN was fighting to stay above 50% most of the time here. And that also came in from Chef Momo's quick hammer down. And they're already coming up with a rally. They want to be as aggressive as possible.
And there's the Nano Rhine there in a Coalescence, and oh, Audit is down already, and Luna might just be trying to go for the res, but unable to do so. And there's the Grab Dragon combo, the Wombo combo, and not really gonna get anything. But Jelly Dough on the Diva will get Sensei down. That's a pretty good pick. Salty Dog take down Raven, but Sensei will be rezzed. This is pretty much all over for Los Muertos on this current.
Oh, the bullying. It will.
Yeah. Oh! Jelly Dough just taken out.
You thought you got away, but the
Dog.
Flame Strike got him. I'd be surprised. They're speed boosting a little bit here, but they're gonna not want to push in a man down.
They're very close to a lot of their ults here, so they're not really going to try to switch off the goats yet, I would think.
No, they're going to stick to their guns here, and let's see who they're going to stun and probably throw down or shatter.
Oh, and there's the Graviton, but will they have anything in combo with it other than just the Rhine hammer? Oh, and there's a berry. Oh wow, just a lot of ults. It's hard to keep track of them all. Salty Dog takes down Chef Momo, but Riders will fall. What else is going on? This is true. And there's the Grab Dragons yet again. Oh, but that's a barrier. That's a good barrier there. That will pretty much negate both of those ults, which is an incredible trade-off there.
The sustain still showing its strengths at the moment. Splatinum hitting off that juicy barrier, as you're just saying. Chef Momo, now their only linchpin at the moment. He's got that Earth Shatter, and he's got to make sure not to throw it into Salty Dog here. Right now, We Stomp on LAN are pretty spread out, but he's got to find that good line to throw down the Q. And they're coming in 3 minutes.
Oh, and there it is. That's a big shatter. Raven is down, though, but still they've got a lot of heals and a lot of tank here. Not really much else, but oh, that shatter gets 2 supports. Infection will go down here. Chef Momo's down as well. It's going in favor of We'll Stomp on LAN.
Yeah, that Earth Shatter from Salty Dog actually hit at the perfect time. As Chef Momo was backing up, he went onto the payload, lifting him off the ground to just have a couple feet underneath his shield, and was able to creep and crawl to grab those 2 supports, and that really sealed the deal there for We Stomp on LAN to keep the defense up. Grab a nice spot and hold. Sensei still sitting up on top of the jail. They got to do something about him. He has the dragon. It'll be interesting to see when and where he uses this.
Oh, and there's the Grab Dragon, but it's not quite from both of the teams. Salty Dog will take out Raven. Riders will get down, but Rez. Salty Dog takes out Chef Momo, and there's the the Diva Bomb didn't get anything there at all. It's just a couple of people on point just trying to keep the team alive. And looks like they're gonna have to. I kind of wonder if they're going to. Oh, and that's a unnecessary Reinhardt charge. Maybe just to show them, hey, I'm in charge.
Yeah, a bit of a sending message there. Yeah, they're gonna send a message. They're feeling confident, I guess, in their ability to play right now. They've stopped a push almost for a minute and a half, but they have. I mean, they just need the one win. They can drop out. They can lose another point and come back to fight another day. Because they're sitting pretty at a 2-0, and Sensei with a beautiful arrow onto Jelly Dough, who's now onto Pharah. Well, you switched right incredible. There, and now you're immediately down. So that the rest up, so they really don't want to waste any time here. Coming into 60 seconds here, they're the ability to move on is on the line for Los Muertos. They need to make some things happen.
Oh, and there's the grab. But what will they combo it with? Looks like Spinum will use the barrier and will save everyone's skins. And there's a. Ryrus's rally, and it's just 1 minute remaining. And there's the Coalescence just trying to keep everyone alive. Maybe also a little bit of a damage Coalescence here, just trying to poke down the Ryan and others. Just a lot of damage being traded, not a lot of picks. A lot of ults coming out too. But, oh, was that a block shatter? Yes, it was. Oh, and there's the grab again. Chef Momo is down, but Platinum also down. And there's the Justice raining from above. Jellydo gets 2, but will get slept. Technician takes down Infection. And there's yet another Dragon. Oh, just goes straight in there. Doesn't really get anything. A Jellydo takes down Audit. Oh, they just have Luna on for Will Stomp on LAN for heals. And it's just 10 seconds remaining. Oh, this is not good. This is not looking good. They just have to get on point. They need to get on point. They need to stay on point. They want to move on. Chef Momo is down. Wixtrix is down. Oh, and that's the... Oh, but it's... Overtime counter just going down. Will they be able to touch? It doesn't look so. And that is it, my friends. Will Stomp on LAN will advance to round 2. I'm so sorry if I yelled.
Weed Stomp on LAN coming in hot and ready. They wanted to get and face Microsoft Excelsior, and they're well on their way onto the semifinals, and they'll be playing Band, by the way, as they won earlier against Deadlock Gang. Jellydo, although not showing up with the Reaper, a good temporary counter for the time being, but the presence and aggressiveness from Weed Stomp on LAN, and just the ability to avert and dissuade those diving heroes in protecting their own supports. We saw Audit getting those nano boosts and throwing on those tanks to revitalize them and push back hard. We didn't see Audit fall that much. And of course, Sensic always sitting in the back somewhere, long distance, Hanzo, Widow, Pharah, making the plays and making those initial picks to really set in motion for their strong stance, whether it be on attack or defense. Of course, like the initial arrow from Jelly or onto Jelly as they immediately switched to Pharah, just a hey, you're on a different hero. Hello, would you like an arrow to the face? But man, a great strong start, and We Stomp on LAN showing their strength here, even in the face of goats, which can be the bane of many people's existence at the moment, as that is such a hard, well, seemingly in theory a hard comp to play against. But unless you have the skill and the kit and the hero pool to deal with it, we've seen We Stomp on LAN can deal with it just fine here. And well, they're sitting pretty with a 3-0 and a victory to move on to the semifinals, which will be tomorrow at default 7 or 9 p.m. But make sure to stay tuned to the Discord for more particular announcements.
Will Stomp on LAN will be facing Band, by the way, so that's gonna be a really fun match to watch. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I'll see you all there, or maybe not. Anyways, have a great evening, and yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. I've been MrAlan, or Mr. Dongles, whatever you prefer. With me is Warrenpeace casting alongside, and of course, Direboyd, the ever-present, the omnipresent, to click all the buttons and keep all of us plebs in check. We thank you very much. Until tomorrow, stay tuned to the Discord and, of course, all the announcements to make sure you know what's happening for the continuation of the Owlet playoffs as we continue on through this weekend until we crown a eventual victor on Sunday. And boy, oh boy, I can't wait. But of course, we still have another day of games to get through. It should be one heck of a weekend. Have a good one, everyone.